Officially live, finally. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Healy Avalon Frequency and Sound episode number 5. So I'm really delighted to be here again this week, and also we've got an amazing special guest that I'm going to introduce in just a second. So these series and episodes that we're doing at the moment are very exciting. It's all based around frequency or sound and ways we can use it for healing in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits. And so we're kind of pulling people together to kind of like start educating each other about how we can use frequencies to really bring our lives and our health into optimal experience. So I met Simone um, in Berlin. I actually did a sound healing course with him. And I'm just really delighted to just introduce him here, because since I met him, I've actually been working with the Healy. So everyone here in the group, so there's about just under 3,000 people in this group that have a Healy or are interested in frequency, and we kind of come together to talk about that most of the time. So it's really nice to get you here, because I know that you have been working with other devices. You've got a long history in frequency and understanding sound and healing. So yeah, just want to say hello. How are you?
Hello, Abbey. Thanks for having me tonight, and I'm glad to be part of this conversation. And I'm also curious to know about all your guests here, and especially I would like to know your growing interest in the sound healing, and uh, I would like to know also about your work in these years, because we didn't spoke since a lot of time. So thank you for having me tonight.
You're welcome. It has been such a long time, and so much has changed in my life and all around sound and healing. It's my journey, it's my path. I definitely found my way with this work and with frequencies. So I didn't expect it to be with this device that would get me on the route, but I was going in the right direction when I did your course. So when it came down to it, it was the Healy that really brought me. It's this new technology that really inspired me to get into working with this frequency on another level, on a much more defined and much more, let's say to speak, just more specific on the body. And this for me, just it blows my mind, like every time I talk to anyone in this realm about frequency. So um I just like to just maybe you can give us a little bit of background information about how you got into onto your path in frequency.
Sure, sure, yeah. I mean, I'm a musician, and so since 2000, 2003, uh, I was playing electronic music around, and basically in in Europe. And in then back in 2009, I had episode that changed my life, because I was in the hospital for like 3 months, because I had a thrombosis spread in different part of my body, and it was caused by disease which is called thrombocythemia. And that changed my life, because I was forced to take drugs, and different kind of medicine. I went under um different kind of treatment, medical treatment because of this disease. And so that I started, that was the moment that I started to investigate more about sound, and what was also the property, what were the property of sound as a healing tool. And so then I went, I had a trip in US, and I met Mandara Cromwell, which is the woman who created the AMI 750, the device, which is based on the cymatic therapy principles. You know about, you never heard about cymatic therapy. You do because you did the course with me. But just but just to give an explanation of what is cymatic therapy, it was a vibrational science who was created by Dr. Peter Guy Manners back in the 1960s. And back then he started to investigate, to do his research into the electromagnetic energy. So his concept was that every living thing, person, animal, plant or organism is surrounded by an energy field that resonates at its own particular frequency. And the work of many contributors using the physics of sound and the biophysical applications of sound on biological matter were compiled by Dr. Manners, and so he developed into his theory of cymatic therapy. So just to give you explanation of how does it works, Dr. Manners, thanks to an atomic force microscope, was able to detect the like, let's say, hundreds of signature vibrations of healthy organs and tissue, because our body is like an orchestra, which every organ, bone, tissues, cells, which has which vibrates at their own frequency, and the whole concert needs to vibrate an harmonic sum of all the frequencies that goes together. So that's why the work of Peter Guy Manners is really important, because in this device, the acoustic meridian intelligence, he delivered like a lot of signature vibration, a lot of sound patterns which are resonating for different to work with some with different organs, you know, different also to help the organism to balance or to create an harmonic resonance which according to the needs of the person in that moment. And yeah, so I started to I attended the course with them in US. In it was 2012, and after 2 years it changed my life, because basically with this system I discovered that my disease was getting a lot better, and I started, according also to the doctors, to reduce the pills and the medical treatment, because my organism was getting better by itself, you know. And yeah, that was the first step that I did into this direction. And after that I studied at different sound healing academies, and I also started to work with all the ancestral instruments like Tibetan bowls, gongs, shamanic tambourine, and you know, all the let's say classical instrument of the sound healing. And then I understood also the one of the important, one of the, let's say, fundamental tools to use sound, which is our intention. Because if we use sound but we cannot focus our attention in that moment on the sound waves, it doesn't work. Whatever treatment, whatever techniques you are using, it doesn't work if your mind is completely out of tune. Okay, and that is the one of the fundamental principle to use sound, because you need to entrain the brain first, and then the other part of the body. And yeah, for sure, mindfulness helped me a lot, because then I attended a course and I became a mindfulness trainer. I did a course with John Kabat-Zinn in US, and then it changed also. It improved my skills as sound therapist, because I in some way I created a protocol which combine mindfulness techniques in order to focus your attention, to become free from the egoic pattern of the mind, you know, and to focus totally the attention on the present moment and on the sound while you are doing a sound therapy session. And I saw with all my clients, on myself first, and then on my clients, that it represents the turning point in this field. So yeah, of course, then whatever kind of techniques works, because if you are able to go through the process of mindfulness before to start using the sound, so you know, mindfulness is it takes its root from the Buddhism principle, no? So shamatha is the first principle to calm the mind, heart, body system. Then you go through vipassana, which is the the deep vision process. So you see all the emotions and the sensation and the thoughts behind. And then that is the moment on which sound as his best effect when you start to use the sound at that moment. It creates like a really profound, a deep change. It's like a shift, okay? Because once you know what is the person needs in that moment, then you can use sound as a tool to shift the frequency and to create to go through to the process through a different to a new, you know, a new frequency, an harmonic frequency, to harmonize all the energies of the person. So yes, cymatic therapy, I still use it a lot, and also the ancestral techniques of sound healing, and I also use bioquantum, which is a quantum sound therapy tool. Is a cube more or less similar to Healy, because I knew about Healy, but I didn't check out a lot, you know. I didn't know a lot about it. I know the app, I also downloaded it, and I watched some video on how it works, but of course I never tried, and I'm also curious. Maybe tonight you can you can also talk a bit about that
Yeah.
because I'm curious to discover all the way on which it works.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it's really nice to hear those stories. Thank you so much for sharing like your background so far, because it really determines the a lot of things that we already know with using frequency, especially with the Healy. I mean, we keep getting told, you know, have an intention, and you know, being when you're using it, to be quiet with the body, to be in a meditative state, because then you're going to be more open to receiving the frequencies, because you are like you said, you know, you've got your intention. um, and I've noticed that a lot of people, they use their Healys, or they use this device without really having an intention, or they walk around with it around the house. I mean, I do it too, you know, I'm working with it on at the same time. And I think that it's very important that this is a really good reminder for people who are watching, that to remember that to always have an intention, and to always find a relaxed state of being to be able to receive the treatment in the best possible way, because otherwise we're only getting half of the benefits of this tool. And I just want to know more about the quantum device you're using, because I mean, I saw you using this machine. Is this the one that you were using, wasn't it? The one you used in the course?
Yeah, the one I used in the course is the AMI 750, is the acoustic meridian intelligence device, which I was speaking you about before, and it's the one from the cymatic therapy. So uh, it's the device that you tried, no, in the course, yeah. And you know, you basically, on this device you place your feet, you know, because under the feet there are all the meridians of the body, and and then you select the program, which is the combination of all the frequencies that were investigated by Dr. Manners. And Dr. Manners used these techniques which combine it creates sound patterns which were the combination of six frequencies, six patterns, six frequencies which creates the pattern, and each of these frequency pattern is supportive to the tissue it has been designed to bring into resonant balance. So the commutation made by the atomic force microscope that Dr. Manners used before to reach about the exactly frequency on which each tissue organ, each healthy tissue organs and bone, etc., was vibrating, no? And so he created the commutation, so signature vibrations of the tissue or the organs to support the body in order to resume its healthiest state. Okay, and this device is it has been used a lot in the sound therapy field, and normally the session is started with an anamnesis, of course, and I do the anamnesis by a BOL system. The BOL system is it's a software and hardware which was created by the Russian Dr. Korotov, and it basically takes like a picture of each of your finger. You place your finger on the screen, and it takes it detects your vibrational states. It detects by the energy under the needs. It detects the electromagnetic field of your body, and then through this you can see your peripheric energetic system or your central system, then your chakra, and all your organs, of course under an energetic point of view. So then this is a really important tool because I can see exactly which is the vibrational state in that moment of the person, and through the AMI 750 I can deliver the exactly program, which can be 30-minute protocol or can be combined into 1-hour setting. And of course then the person comes to me, to my studio, once or twice or 3 times a week, and the number of sessions needed will vary with each person, of course, and according to their health challenges or their lifestyles. And yeah, then I also use the BOL system after the session to do like a check, no? To check the difference before and after the session. And yeah, it's really effective kind of using sound. Yeah, and about bioquantum, there is another system which I use in the environment of my studio, because the bioquantum ice cube, it's like this. I don't know if I have a picture. I can maybe I can share the screen with you, but
Yeah, sure.
let me
Anytime.
check. Let me
Okay,
check.
do
I
share a
need to.
picture, and I can let you share the screen. That's no problem. I'll just give you the option. That's if you have the option to share your screen now if you want to.
Okay, let me check. Just one moment, because I need to go to the.
I'll just use this moment to ask if anyone in Facebook or anyone here in the Zoom have any questions about any of these different methods or methodologies that Simone uses. Yeah, feel free to just pop them in the chat, or we can answer the questions for you. Because it's all very relevant to what we're using with the Healy, and it's great to get like an understanding from another perspective as well, from a different, using the similar machines, but also on the same path with the healing process with using these devices. Perfect. I just want to check everyone can hear me okay, right? Because my microphone is. Can you hear me okay, Simon?
Okay, I found a picture.
Okay,
Basically, I found it on the website, because maybe it's easy like this. If you tap bioquantum.it, you can,
Bioquantum.
yeah, bioquantum.it.
Okay, I can just share my screen if you like.
Yeah, and then you go to instrument. Maybe it's in Italian, so you can check strumenti.
Okay, no worries. I'm just going on there now. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm just going to look for the box. Okay, I'll just share my screen.
Yeah.
One sec.
You see it?
So this box here, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay,
It's this.
interesting.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, so
Exactly.
it's doing something like it's very similar to what Healy's doing, but it's a bigger machine. But I'm very interested to see what it actually does.
Basically, it works, Abbey, through the principle of immersive entrainment of brain waves. Okay, so like this, it working with this, we are able to move the the brainwave states from beta to alpha to theta and delta, just selecting the right program. So it works with the scalar frequency. Okay, so the scalar energy field then affect your well-being during the day and night. And during the day, you can easily go from a state in which body and mind are in struggle and therefore produce high quantity of harmful cortisol and also sleepless nights. Then you go from there to a state of greater balance. By increasing your frequency, you will begin to see, think, and create more clearly, and also you go through a productive behavior throughout the day. And so this is called bioquantum, the one you see in the screen, Tesla iCube system. And it's really powerful. I use it in the environment, and according to the client needs also, I program the right pattern, okay? Because also here there are a lot of programs inside, and there's a program, for example, um, to, for mental states or for physical pain, more or less like, because I saw like Healy, you know, that you see you have a lot of programs. It's like this, more or less,
Yeah.
and it
I
works
mean,
with scalar energy vibrations.
great. I'll just stop sharing it. That's like
Okay.
amazing to see because actually, like, the thing I like about Healy is that it's so portable. You're able to
Yeah.
take it anywhere. And I think that's the whole reason because Marcus Schmieke, who designed the Time Waver
Hmm.
machine, because it
Hmm.
becomes actually from a bigger machine, um, he then created the Healy because it's to make it more portable and more accessible for people to travel, to use it around the house, to move with it without, you can travel with it, no problem. I mean, I had it around my neck because I make necklaces for them, and it's just really nice to be able to just carry it so easily. And that's the thing, and all these machines, they're all doing similar things, and I just think it's amazing. I think that it's like whatever tool works for everybody, because they are working on a level that that should have been already for a long time. I mean, it has been. This was already invented like hundreds of years ago, right, by
Yeah.
Tesla. So
By Tesla. Yeah.
yeah, but now everything is coming out in the open where technology in this Aquarian age of, this year coming into it is it's all just coming out. Like we're realizing that we are so much more than just the pharmaceutical companies that are, dealing with the symptoms. And instead we are now working on a whole different level with these frequencies. So it's really nice to hear that you're using these machines. And I think when I met you, I had an interest in sound, and I was very intrigued by your machines, but I never really understood that it would be my path as well, that I would be now working with a machine like Healy. And now I'm even more curious, and I would love to offer you a session. I will offer you a session at another time to show you the Healy, and I
Sure.
can do a distant session with you and share my screen so that you can see what it does, and I can do a scan for you and show you what comes up. And I'd love to share that with you, just to,
Great. Yeah.
yeah, so you can get an idea of what it does, because you can download the app, but you won't be able to use it because you need the Healy.
Yeah. Exactly.
You need to get the device
I
so
just
you can use
downloaded the
that.
app just to see, to know more about, because I'm curious as well. So I just discovered it. I discovered it just when you got in touch with me, like last month. So
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't know. I
yeah.
didn't know about that.
This one, yeah.
So yeah,
Well, we've got this great group that I've created on Facebook, which we're live in at the moment, and we've got some great people coming on. So next week, actually, we've got a lady called Bridge Hanlon coming on. So a lot of people here will know her. She's actually a time waver therapist, and she's coming on next Wednesday to talk about time waver and to talk about the Healy and to talk about all the different programs she's creating. And we may even go through the new coaching program that's come up. So there is so much to be. Yeah. So next week, everyone take note of that, because if you want to learn about Healy, come on that call, because she's going to be talking about Healy and about the mother version of Healy, and that's where you get the best information from. So yeah, that's going to be a good session. So if you want to learn, and also there's a recording, so if you can't make it, I can just send you the recording as well. Yeah. So we've got 20 minutes left, and I'm just wondering how else we can go in this talk, because I know we've got so much to share. I'm curious a little bit. Maybe you can share a little bit about what you do with your um, electronic sound healing, because I love that, and I love that you've created all your own album as well. I think that that's quite nice to share. But I don't know if there's something else that you would like to share in relation to healing with frequencies. I'll let you let you decide what you'd like to share.
So yeah, of course, music. Then I'm a music therapist as well, and music is still a really important part of my work because I still composing album. I'm actually working with two apps. The one is there's an app it's called Einer Map, which is based in LA, and there is another app which is called Calm. So I deliver them some soundscapes, and even there it's important because when you work with music, then you are working. It's like you working with emotion, and yeah. And then if you apply the sound therapy techniques to the music, the combination is wow, it's incredible because I work with the main auditory ways to entrain the brain, no, like binaural beats, isochronic tones, and also primordial sounds. And as you know, listening to these frequencies like binaural beats or like I said, monaural beats, isochronic tones are there are some effective ways to entrain your brain. And the thing is that, as you know, our brain is divided into two hemispheres, no? The left side and the right side. The left side is the one more logical and analytical, and the right side is the one more creative. So most of us are currently using one side of the brain more than the other, and these techniques are really effective because they entrain the brain waves, and like this you can improve the connectivity between the two hemispheres, creating a balanced, healthy and positive mind. That's important. This like one of the basic principle of my work with music and sound. Now, while I compose music, compose soundscape and some soundtrack. So yes, I'm using this and a lot. I'm working a lot also with other practitioner which use sound in some other like some other ways with other techniques. For example, I work with some people who are deep listening teachers, and when we do together the group sessions, that is wonderful because we combine the two techniques and you know the integration, the combination of the skills makes the difference. So yes, it's really important to work with the most sophisticated techniques, the most sophisticated softwares or hardware like Healy or like BioQuantum, okay. But then don't forget that every one of us has an electromagnetic field, as we said, and we are the most powerful source of energy. So the relationship that you create with the user in front of you, it's that is the most effective tool to heal. Okay, then okay, sound and all what we said about it's fantastic, is amazing, and finally after you said 80 years or after 100 years, finally looks like the society are starting to use these techniques daily in the daily life. Okay, but then it's really important the person who use these softwares, because we see with sound that okay, the healing effect can transform the person, but then it can last just for minutes. Then if, for example, a client comes to my studio and it happened, I'm speaking about that because it happened. If some clients comes to my studio, okay, we do the session, and after the session is feeling wow, amazing, is feeling so relaxed, so peaceful. Okay, then he finished the session basically, so he go out from my studio, then he goes into his car, and then at the traffic lights there's a car who cross his way, and then wow, there is for example a really strong emotion in that moment, like anxiety or fear or whatever. Then all the work that we did, it has lost, because we as human we are immersed into a lot of stimuli from the environment and from inside also. That's why I was talking about mindfulness before, because you said yes, okay, it's important to be calm, into a meditative state while you are listening to it. It's not enough. I'm not talking about calm and relaxation. I'm talking about awareness. It's different. Awareness is not relaxation, okay? There are two different ways. Awareness is to be into the metacognition process all the time, to observe your ego, to observe your thoughts all the time, because your thoughts create a screen of concept, ideas, and judgment, and fear, etc., etc. And each of these thoughts, of this idea, of this concept, is vibrating, is created a dissonant frequency into your body at that moment. Okay, that's why sound, it's really important, and I guess that is the reason why to have such a portable tool like Healy, it's really interesting. It really works, because in all the time, in the whole day, you can use it, and you can tune your mind, your intention, your awareness to it, spreading it to the whole day. That is the most important tool.
Oh, amazing. Like that was really, really insightful. Definitely great to get that. I mean, I've got so many questions because like I was so many things then that was like, okay, I want to know more about that. We've got questions in the chat as well. Um, yes, I mean, there's so much to take in that sentence because you make it sound so clear as well that that these tools are just tools. It is true, and we are actually the most powerful thing, and we are actually tuning our bodies with these tools or with whatever anything at all that we need around us. Even Marcus Schmeeker, who designed it, said that we won't need to use these forever. It's just for now, you know, until we can tune our bodies to remember how to do it ourselves. Yeah, and so I had some more questions. Like one was just like, from my point of view, how do you know which frequencies work with the left side of the brain and the right side of the brain? Like when you said that, how do you teach it to communicate in a better way? That's
Mhm.
my one question. I don't know.
You know how does it work with the binaural beats? No, binaural beats are frequencies that they represent the difference between the left ear and the right. Okay, so if you, let's say, you have a frequency of 200 hertz on the right ear, and then you have a frequency of 205 hertz on the left ear, then the brain detect only the resulting frequency, which is 5 hertz. Okay, so this detecting frequency, 5 hertz, correspond to the theta zone. Okay, because the theta brain waves are manifesting from 4 to 8 hertz. So 5 hertz is the theta zone. So that's why you work with binaural beats. If you want to entrain the brain to the theta state, you create a different resulting frequency which is in that zone, 5 hertz. And the brain basically create the connectivity between the two hemispheres by listening to the difference between the two tones. Okay, while you are listening to two different tones, while the brain is processing it creates like the balance, the balancing, the connectivity. It improves this process of listening and detecting the resulting frequencies is the process that create the connectivity between the two hemispheres. I don't know if I
No,
explained.
that's great. And actually, I just had like a sudden reminder of the course that we did.
Yeah.
Because I was learning about this, and I think I forgot it.
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, amazing. And okay, great. That was a great answer. And something from Kat in the group here in Zoom. I love Kat's questions. She's always got something great to ask. She says, "I've always asked weird questions.
Uh-huh.
The sounds that human or people make also vibrate into frequencies, correct? What in your opinion is one of the or the most important sound that can be made by a person? So like what kind of human sounds can we use to heal the body, or what do you think is the most important?
Yeah.
Like for example, if we were in a forest and we had nothing there, like examples of primordial sounds and so on."
Mm. Hmm. So about that, I say that we as human, we have the most powerful tool that we have to heal is our voice. Whenever I'm asked which sound instrument is the most healing, I always answer the human voice,
Mm-hmm.
because you know, we all can use our voices as a healing tool. You can make a very powerful sound that has extraordinary qualities of self-transformation and healing. Maybe it would be not pleasant or entertaining for someone, but it's really powerful. I mean, for example, do you remember during the course we speak about that, no? And we practice some techniques like humming. Do you remember humming?
Yeah, humming.
Humming is really is a really powerful way to use your voice as a internal resonance, because the hum, if you do in the right way with the tongue that goes to the palate, is totally inwardly directed, and it's a real sonic massage, because from your internal organs to your muscles, even to your nervous system, the hum doesn't really go anywhere but in. And yeah, that is the humming, the toning, also to using like the self-created vocal sound to resonate the different chakras of your body. So when I think, just to answer to your friend question, if I would be in a forest and I only have my voice, I would work with humming and toning and deep listening, because it's important to connect to the environment before to work with the voice. It's the same story as before, no? If you connect with your five senses, so you can feel the stability of your body, the position, and you need a deep listening position. It's more or less the meditative position, posture, no? With the back straight, and also the 3 point that that create stability to the ground, and you need to be like totally open with all your muscles relaxed, and then you can manifest the sound after you are in a meditative state, so in a deep listening state. You listen. The listening process comes from inside to the external environment, and then goes again inside. So there is always this process that goes inside and then connect with the environment, but your focus is on your sound that you are manifesting in that moment. Of course, the predecessors that you need to start with your breath, so you connect with your breath as it is, then you go into diaphragmatic breathing process, the pranayama, just to use a word that he used into all the spiritual practice, but even in the yoga sessions, the pranayama, and then you start to manifest the sound. So
Great, amazing, thank you. That's a great answer. Really great. She says thank you as well. We're coming towards the end of the hour. I know that there was a couple of questions earlier. There was one from Rosemary who was asking about the Healy, if we could transmit specific frequencies from our instruments. This is probably not a question you can answer, Simone, but perhaps, Rosemary, I can answer that another time privately to you. We can actually always record our instruments and add them to our Healys. That's possible. So yes, so that's a yes to that question, and I can maybe go into that another day. And also, I mean, Kat was also asking about recommending sounds for animals. I know there's a lot of people here on the call who use Healy on their animals, and there's a lot of people who are starting to work with frequencies and animals, and it's very powerful because animals, especially dogs, are very open to these frequencies. So maybe you just have a quick kind of a little something to add about animals and frequencies. Do you have any experience?
I have an experience with plants.
Oh,
And I have yes, I have an experience with plants, and I started to work with the Italian university, the Department of Biological Science, back in 2016, and we still carry on our research about the use of sound frequencies and music, and also electromagnetic field energies on different kind of crops. So we worked with avocado, with tomatoes, aubergines, and apple trees, olive trees, so a lot. But the results were impressive because the plants doesn't have all the you know, the overthinking that we human have. So plants are there, and when you work with different sound programs with the plants, the results are 10 times more effective than on human. And we worked with sacred geometries. So we created sacred geometries into the field, greenhouses or open fields, and we created these sound devices which are which we place under the soil in order to create some sacred geometry pictures, like all the plateau solid, you know, according to some radiesthetic check. Okay, so I use the pendulum and other also instrument to do an anamnesis of the field. I also use bioquantum sometimes in the field, and then according to that we understood where is the water, if there are some geopathies, and we see also the position of the field, and we work in this direction from south to north. So we place the geometric, all the sacred geometry, all the devices in this direction, from south to north, and then we start to create the patterns. The patterns, the frequency patterns, are based on diatonic scale, which is basically which is working basically on the same principle that we spoke before, so the cymatic therapy principle, and also the Healy principle. I mean, all the principle of using sound to entrain, no, that organism or that matter, because the matter is basically energy, information, energy that through information becomes matter, and that is the principle. So we do some check, and we check all the resonance frequency that could work there according to the Schumann resonance, which vary day by day, but basically is multiple. The Schumann resonance vary, yes, but is always a multiple of 6 and 8, because the range it's always between 6 and 8, and it's multiples. So we work with, when we use music into the environment, we use music tuned to 432 Hz, and that is the reason why, because 432 Hz is multiple both of 6 and 8, and all the resultant frequencies of the chords are harmonics of 6 and 8. And so this system is working like this. In the environment there is music which is spread as many hours as the season, according to the temperature of the environment, the degree of humidity, and all other patterns. And under the soil there are this system with these devices which deliver the sound frequencies, and also there are some electroculture like tools, like, I don't know if you never heard about Lakoski, George Lakoski work with his tools basically. So there are some, for example, some rings which are opens into the direction. So if we
lost you for a second. I think we lost you.
And around the plants,
we lost your internet
direct to the north.
Sorry, can you just repeat that last part again?
Okay.
You were just talking about the tools.
Yes, it's the right. It's called Lakoski Rings.
Okay.
And they are these rings in are made into in the ram, in the copper. Okay, the material is the copper, so there are copper rings which are worked by uh, the guy George Lakoski, who created them
Yeah.
back also in the last century,
I
and
definitely
it's used in the electroculture.
uh I
So
definitely
we use
recommend
this
them.
kind of tools as well with some, for example, other tools like pyramid
Hmm.
uh, over the plants. All these tools are made to convey the electromagnetic field, okay, the cosmic electromagnetic field, and to help the plant to grow faster, to grow stronger, without uh, fertilizer, pest, or other
Uh-huh.
stuff.
I mean, I'm sure you got some amazing results.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and also it's funny that you do this because I recently was doing a scan on a plant with the Healy,
Mm.
and I was asking the universe, I need someone that understands this so they can bring them on and we can scan a plant together and we can look at it and see how we can work it. So maybe I have to get you back on and we can do something related to plants and actually
Yeah.
do an experiment, because I know that everyone here loves a little bit of practical, practical experiments, and to see things working. And I mean, I often share my screen and we do a scan, and scan a plant or scan a pet, or we do a group healing sometimes. And yeah, maybe
Ah.
we could maybe we can organize another session where we could do something like that. I don't know what yet, but we can manifest something, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure, of
I
course.
think that it's just like there's such a realm of knowledge that you have. And I knew, I was looking at your biography when I was making the promotion type thing of the call. And I was reading everything and I was like, oh my gosh, like we've got so much to talk about. We have so much to talk about. I think we scratched the surface today, and it's been so amazing and so insightful, and there's so many nuggets of wisdom that you have shared with us today, and I'm truly grateful for that, and I know that everyone here is as well. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your your knowledge, and your experiences.
Thank you, Abby. It was a pleasure for me uh, to to see you, to talk with you about that, and to also to stay with all of you here and chat about that.
Yeah, it's great. And we'll have a lot of people watching the replay because we've got a lot of people in different parts of the world that are asleep right now. So they're going to
Okay.
be watching that, and I'm sure they're going to be super happy to see this. And we've just a cat was asking, can we hear some of your music? Perhaps we could share some links, or if you wanted to play something before we leave.
Yeah, I mean, you can I cannot play so much now because my daughter is sleeping. So,
Okay, yeah, of course, of
but
course.
you can go on Spotify, for example, and listen to my last album, or you can also check my YouTube channel. I can also share the link on the chat, so you can go there. There is, for example, the recording of my last sound healing session, which I made in Berlin 2 weeks ago, um, with Flora Parr. She's a singer, Federica, and she's also a sound therapist, a sound healer. So I suggest you to listen to this if you want to check some of my music. Here is the link.
Perfect. I will I
Okay.
will share this link on the live video in the Facebook
Yeah,
chat as well, so that everyone can
please.
see it. I will share you can share later your links with me, and I will put them into the newsletter, and I'll also share them in the Facebook live in the live video chat as well.
Okay, okay, cool.
Perfect.
Yes.
Great. No, brilliant. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks so much. We'll
Bye.
see you soon. I'll be in
See you
touch.
soon. Let's stay in
Take
touch, please.
care.
Yeah, take care.
Yeah.
Bye
Good
bye.
night. Good night.
Bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.